How could it be 20 something all alone still? Not a thing in my name. Ain't got nothing running from love. Wish you were here. That's me, Miss 20 something. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys have been well. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I hope I'm audible. My voice is not really, I don't have the energy to talk really loud, so I really hope that you guys are able to hear me. I know in the last video I said I'd be consistent, but let me just stop lying to you guys. I'm just gonna post whenever I can post. I'll post whenever I can. Because that takes the pressure off of me, and then that makes me more able to post when I feel like there's no pressure, there's no expectation from anybody. Secondly, I hope that I know I look like a hobo right now, but I didn't want to wait to do this another time when I felt better about myself, because if I do, I end up not doing the thing that I said I was going to do. So I just decided, hold on, you know what, let me just sit down and shoot this thing while the sun is still out, to alleviate the bad quality that you guys had in that other video, because I shoot this from my phone, and you guys know on an iPhone and quality at night, video quality, picture quality at night, not really the best. And I was using my front camera as well, but today I'm using the back camera, so I hope that this doesn't stop recording when I'm talking. That would be very awkward. But anyway, getting into today's topic, my title today is 20 something. I don't know if you guys know that song by SZA. It's called 20 something, and yeah, I'll put like a screenshot of the song so you guys can look it up on Apple Music, because I don't want to risk putting it on here. Excuse me, I don't want to risk using any version of that song on YouTube, because YouTube might give me a strike, of which I'm not, my videos are not monetized anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I don't know, I just feel weird about it in case my videos get monetized sometime in the future. But yeah, I really resonate with that song like a whole lot. I resonate with that song a lot. And what is going on with my voice? Anyway, I resonate with the song a lot, because it's just about how when you're in your 20s, you feel kind of lost. By the way, I'm wearing my glasses, my new glasses, and my lens is really thick, and you can see the glare much more on these lenses. I hope it doesn't bother anyone. But yeah, I resonate with it, because like when you're in your 20s, what are you meant to be doing exactly? Like, what are we meant to be doing? The 20s is such a weird phase, because you're not a teenager anymore. You're not a teenager, but at the same time you're young. But at the same time, so much is permissible and so much isn't. Like, when you walk in a room, you know that you're an adult, but at the same time, you look at adultier adults than you as being adults. You know what I mean? You don't really think to yourself, oh, I'm actually an adult. Like, I am the adult, and I'm also an adult. Like, but at the same time, culturally, it's really weird, and it's really weird for you to look at yourself that way, because when you come into a room, there's like a hierarchy, like a system of reverence that you have to adhere to when you're with other older adults than you, and so you always look at yourself as a child, especially when you're in your 20s, because you think of yourself as somebody who's just in their teens. um, and it's just really weird. A lot of us are still discovering who we are in our 20s. We're finding balance, we're entering careers, and some people are, deciding that they want to go back to school because maybe they chose the wrong career. And some people are having kids, some people are getting married, well, some people enjoy going to the club every weekend, um, and traveling and not having those responsibilities. And it's just kind of weird because, like, people are doing radically different things at this point in time. Like, everybody is doing their own thing, and everyone's life looks different from the other. And there is a set expectation that we put on ourselves, but there's no set expectation really of what you should actually be doing. Because the people who aren't having kids are looking at the people who are having kids like, wow, you guys are really having children. Like, wow, you guys are really getting married. Wow, weird. We were in high school just the other day and you're married. That's wild. And so I low-key feel that way because I had my kid pretty young, and my kid is big now. Like, it kind of feels like me and him are kind of growing up together. So sometimes, even though he is my child, he doesn't really feel like my child. And so when people are actually like literally having babies right now, it's like, wow, you guys are having babies right now. Like, when you guys are actually expected to like foot the bill, and like, you guys are really having babies. You guys are really getting married. I know people that are married like 3, 4 years already, and I'm only turning 26 this year, and that's just wild to me. But at the same time, I'd always thought that I'd be one of those people that got married early, which is funny because I'm not married right now. But anyway, if you see me looking down, it's because I have my book of notes as usual. Yeah, so like I in my 20s, I'm experiencing a fair bit of being lost. I don't know if I mentioned this to you, that like my life is very weird. I was very independent from a very young age. Very independent, started making my own money, lived alone, have had my own apartment, had my own car, all these things. And then where my life is going right now, I don't know if this is something that God is doing or if it's just an unfortunate thing. But like, I've had a lot of those things stripped away. I've had a lot of my independence stripped away. I've had to move back home and be with my parents. And so when people are only just now tasting that independence for the first time, and they're also kind of looking at me like, okay, I mean, people have always known that I've always had my own thing going, or most people who have been in my life have always known. But still, the fact that I don't have that going for me right now kind of puts people in a position where they're looking at me like, okay, so what are you doing with your life? Even though this wasn't my plan. And I'm looking at them like, wow, I wish I had all those things again. And it kind of makes me feel a little lost because I don't know how to relate with people who are living in their independent era, because I can't do that. Like, I'm kind of stripped for cash, and I'm like, a lot of things. Oh, my nose is so itchy. A lot of things are going on in my life currently that place me where they were back then when I was hyper independent, and people used to tell me, oh my god, I look up to you so much, you're so independent, you live alone, this is so nice, all those things that I used to have going for me are now going for a lot of other people in my age group, and I have kind of reverted backwards, which leaves me feeling lost. But still, even people who are only just starting out feel like they feel lost because now they're trying to handle bills, for example. For the first time, they're having to keep their, like, understand what it means to budget, because if you go over budget and you work a job that gives you a lump sum of money at the end of the month, still you're gonna end up feeling like maybe your salary is not enough when it is enough. And you kind of have to learn lessons regarding money and how to handle it that teach you temperance, that teach you what is necessary, what isn't necessary. You learn by making mistakes. So one month you'll kind of blow all your money all at one time because you're excited that you had money, and then at the end of the day you you have to reel it in and realize, okay, I actually don't have that much money and life is expensive and this is what this costs and this is how I can save money. And you're constantly trying to figure these things out, especially in your 20s, because like when you get to that point of independence, and not everybody is working on the same budget, so you can't necessarily apply every budgeting rule that other people are using or every budgeting model that other people your age are using. So there's a bit of feeling lost because we're all in the same sea, but we're not all in the same boat, if you get what I mean. We're all in the same sea, but we're not all in the same boat, and not everybody can understand what exactly it is you're feeling or experiencing in that time. We can talk about it, and some people are experiencing those things, and you can kind of share, but you will never actually be able to. Yo, my nose. You'll never actually be able to understand each other. And I feel like that's just the weird part about being in your 20s. Like, it's so weird. One of my points here is that, I thought that I'd be married by now, which I think I've touched on, but I'm not. I'm not married. I'm turning 26. And I'm nowhere near marriage. I think, well, I can't really say that, but particularly because of my financial situation, I feel like I've always been used to carrying my weight, if not carrying the weight for the both of us in the relationship, that now that I can't carry my weight, the thought of entering into a relationship at this point in time is just kind of crazy for me. Sorry, Nakokefaife and Dukombi and stuff, people are coming home, people are making noise. It's just unfortunate. I don't know why these people do this, as if they think that people don't need silence in their own personal spaces. Weird. Anyway, so yeah, like I have so many friends that are above 30 and like 30 and above, like between friends that are older than me, between 29 and 35, maybe even older than 35. I think I do have a few friends that are older than 35. And it's just kind of crazy to me because, yeah, my age to 35 or 36, that's a 10-year gap. And it's just really wild to me that I can relate with those people in the way that I relate with them. And sometimes the pressure that they have to do certain things, I sometimes forget myself that I can't put myself on the same timeline as them because I'm not their age. I have 10 years on them. Like they have 10 years on me. So some of the achievements that they have and the things that they've achieved, I shouldn't feel the pressure to have achieved myself. And also like the timelines, some people are really pressed to have children, and I'm like, okay, but I don't really need to be pressed to have children because one, I have one child already. I don't really need to be pressed to get married or have kids. I could do that 5 years from now and be okay when I'm financially stable and financially secure in the fact that I can actually add value to my marriage. So I feel like that's just very weird for me because being somebody who's in their 20s who has so many older friends or older acquaintances is just, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's really interesting. It's so funny. Like, I've already expanded on my notes, but I expanded on them not in the same, category, which is weird. But yeah, there's a quote by some girl called Gigi. I had the quote on my phone. I probably lost it. But like, it's a good thing I wrote it down because it says, the best thing about your 20s is that you have the rest of your life ahead of you. And the worst thing is that you feel as if you don't. And I feel like that's just so true. That's just so true because like you feel so much pressure. You feel like there's so much. Oh, my nose is so itchy. In a world where we have access to almost everybody's life on social media, even though you know in the back of your mind that people are only showing their highlight reels, they're only showing the best parts of themselves, the best parts of their lives, but still you feel the need to compare yourself to other people and where they seem to be at even though where they're at in terms of materialisticness, material things, is not necessarily, you don't know what that comes with. Some people could have a car of their dreams and there's a red bow on it and everything, but they're paying it off for 5 years and they're stuck in debt. Well, meanwhile, you have money in the bank, you're not stuck in debt, you're building your house, go jarating your house slowly, or you want to invest that money into your education or other things, and then you look at them and you're just like, but how come so and so is this age and they have this and this and this and this, and how come they run into so many opportunities, and while constantly being overfed with the things that other people have in their life, not knowing what's happening behind the scenes. And so that kind of puts pressure on us to have everything under control and feel like our time is so finite, even though, of course, the time is not infinite. But as someone who's in their 20s, you kind of need to give yourself grace. I've always heard women in their 30s speak about how they spent so much time in their 20s worrying, like there was so much uncertainty and all that stuff, but at the same time they shouldn't have been worrying. What they should have been doing was living in the moment and building on what they have to create stability in their 30s, because once you're in your 30s, usually you're a lot more stable, you're financially stable, you know who you are, you know what you want, you've already experienced enough to have stability of mind, of emotion, of everything that you could possibly think, that it's so easy. Life becomes more enjoyable. Even dating becomes enjoyable because one, you're financially stable, you already know the kind of guys that you're definitely not going to look twice at, things like that. And I feel like that's so true, that like we should kind of take pressure off of ourselves, because we're not there yet. We're currently in the building phase. We're currently in the redefining or the knowing, the learning of ourselves stage. And we should have enough grace to know that sometimes learning yourself means maybe you used to like this and now you're growing out of it. Learning yourself means that you are now establishing your own values and morals as a person, as an entity on your own, before you could bring like another person when you're dating. These values and morals are very separate from the ones that you had maybe when you were living with your parents and you were maybe moving with their values and morals, because obviously when you live with your parents, you kind of have to uphold their morals code and the moral code that they have for their family, which you are under. But once you go out into the world as a woman on your own, it's very easy for you then to now begin to dibble and dabble into certain things, see what you're curious about, and then see what you're taking and what you're leaving. And so we should have grace and know that we do have time, and this is the time to be confused. It's the time to get into things and decide, oh no, I'm not taking this is not for me. This is the time to date people. I'm not really for casual dating, but obviously even in your 20s, companionship is what you're going to want, but it's the time to broadly, broaden your perspective and maybe meet different people. Rather, let me not call it dating, because I'm not for dating haphazardly. I'll explain that in another video, but it's a good time for you to meet people and understand the different kinds of people that there are out there. Sorry, there's so much music playing. Baton. But it's the time for you to meet different kinds of people. Anyway, moving on, there's another quote from someone on Twitter who was like, Sibadala or Sibanglani. And then the person was like, Sibadala Kanglani, which is basically, and then that person was like, you get what I mean? Like, we're adults, but just a little bit, if you get what I mean. Yeah, and it made so much sense to me. Yeah, and it made so much sense to me. And it also just means that we're constantly evolving. One thing I've realized is that people who are, even people who are in their 40s and people who are in their 50s, are we are always in a transitional stage where we are leaving what we were in the past and assimilating to what we want to be, or assimilating to our future selves. And so there will always be a certain level of uncertainty. Aibo, let me wrap this video up. There'll always be a certain level of uncertainty in life. There'll always be a certain level of uncertainty in life. And so we should give ourselves grace, because it's not just in your 20s where you feel uncertain. You might feel a little bit more uncertain than usual because you aren't financially stable, like you don't have your footing quite right in the world and in the world systems. But there will always be a certain level of uncertainty in other areas as you grow, as you evolve into the woman that you are going to be or as you are becoming, because becoming is a constant thing rather. Yeah, so own race, own pace. With that being said, the Bible verse of the day is a Bible verse that I really love to quote. I quote it with everything. And it's from Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1 to 8. And it says, "To everything there is a season." You know what? I'm going to put this Bible verse up in the video at some point, because it's very difficult for me to talk over my neighbor's music, which is freaking annoying. But yeah, it's from Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1 to 8. I'll read the first verse. It says, "To everything there's a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." That's Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1. And that's just to say, take life as it goes. Life has its seasons, literally. There will be winter, there'll be spring, there'll be whatever, autumn, whatever you can think of, where the leaves are drying up. There's a time to sow, where it's raining, where it's sunny. There'll be seasons in your life that are similar to that, and then the rest of the passage basically just goes on to explain different seasons. But I'll put it up. My nose is itching, this music, this side, everything is just not coming together. Oh my god. But I'm not gonna record this video again. But yeah, read Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1. And then I'm definitely just gonna type it out and put it on the screen for you guys to read, or take a screenshot and put it on the screen for you guys to read. Yeah, this is also your daily reminder to try and read the Bible. People are doing Speak Life September, which is where I'll put the Speak Life September thing as well as a screenshot here. It's run by Mpumile Dwaba on her Wisdom and Wellness page. And one of the things that we are doing on Speak Life September, which I haven't completely been consistent with, but one of the things we're doing is reading a chapter of Proverbs a day. And Proverbs has 31 chapters, and September has 30 days. So on the last day, I think you read 2 chapters. Yeah. It had the Proverbs 31 woman, which is a thing that a lot of people love to quote, but a lot of people don't even know what that is. And we're going to go into that sometime during our videos. Anyway, let me sign out because the music is getting on my nerves. I'll talk to you guys when I can. Have a great week. Be blessed. Definitely don't forget to read your Bible. Maybe try the whole Proverbs, one chapter of Proverbs a day. Proverbs is very easy to read, so definitely just really try it. It's one of the books that are very, very easy to read. Try and use that as a stepping stone for you to start reading your Bible every day, which I'd advise every Christian woman to do. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna because this music is gonna pop up at any moment now. As usual, guys, take care of yourselves. Just because the pandemic seems to be over doesn't mean it's fully over. Still wear your mask, sanitize your hands, wash your hands as often as you can. Try to keep your environment clean. Stay away from people you don't really need to be touching because germs are real. Keep your relationship with God constant. Try put in deliberate effort into that. And yeah, see where that takes you. Don't forget to drink water. It's getting warm now. Drink water. Drink lots of water. Stay away from the sugary drinks. Water. Meaty. Yeah. Water, matey. Anyway, sorry. Guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.